Hi, welcome along to AFTV. Listen, we're starting to fast approach that part of the year, which is transfer fever. And of course, just to remind you guys that Transfer Daily is going to be returning in the month of June, running you through the whole of the summer of all the players that are going to be linked with Arsenal. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be really, really exciting this summer. For the first time in 6 years, Arsenal are back in the Champions League. And that means that they can attract better players. It's not just about, big money, for a lot of players. They want to go to a club that's playing in the Champions League. And Arsenal are definitely in the Champions League. And also an exciting club once again. Probably going to finish runners-up, if we're real, in the league. But it's been a great season. Everybody from the outside can see that this is a team on the up. It's a young team. So all of a sudden, an exciting proposition to join. Now, there was one story that really caught my eye yesterday. It was by the Times newspaper, where they said that Arsenal are interested in Declan Rice, which we know that already, and Caicedo. We know that already as well. Moises Caicedo from Brighton, who was excellent against us a couple of days ago. But they're claiming that Arsenal are looking to get both. They say that Mikel Arteta wants to buy both Moises Caicedo and Declan Rice, and they're setting the price at around about £170 million. We'll get the two of them. Now, listen, if Arsenal were able to get both Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo into that midfield, honestly, that would be some serious signings. Both players I absolutely love. Let's start with Declan Rice. Quality player. Has been carrying West Ham for years now. He's dynamic. He's got a great passing range. He's great at driving with the ball, but then he's also good at the fundamentals. Very good defensively, very strong. A real powerhouse in midfield and full of energy. And also a player that's capable of playing in a couple of positions. We know that he can play as a defensive midfielder. That's the position he occupies most of the time for England and also for West Ham. But he can also play as a box-to-box midfielder. As I said, his energy, the way he gets up and down the pitch, absolutely brilliant. And on top of that, he can play as a centre-back, started off his career as a centre-back and can play as a centre-back as well if needed. So can play multiple positions, also has leadership qualities. As we know, he's the captain of West Ham. As a young player, he's still very experienced in international. He was one of the star players at the World Cup for England. He was one of the star players in the Euros for England and England international. He would represent an excellent signing. Now, West Ham the other day saying that they want about £120 million for him. Forget that. They ain't getting £120 million for Declan Rice. No one's going to pay that, and they know it. Probably, I think he's going to go from anything from between 80 to £100 million for Declan Rice. It really depends on how many clubs come in for him. Now, Arsenal said to be one of the favourites to sign him. Let's hope we can get that done, because I think it would represent an excellent signing. But Moises Caicedo, what about him? As I said, a lot of talk's been one or the other, but the Times are saying Arsenal will go for both. Caicedo, we know that Arsenal tried to buy. They put a bid in for around about £70 million in January, and it was rejected. And, Brighton refused to sell him. You can see why. He's an excellent player, and his versatility is shown in recent games as well. We saw him against us at the weekend playing as a right back, and he played that position brilliantly. And what he was also able to do was that thing that we're seeing a lot now in football, that invert, where he came inside into the midfield and helped out there and was, brilliant on the ball, great in the tackle, great with his distribution, then could also drop back into right back. I mean, he's full of energy again, international for his country, one of the first players on the team sheet. Still a very young player. His ceiling is so high, it's unbelievable, but he will be expensive as well. I mean, listen, Brighton will want to hold on to him, especially if they get European football. But I just get the sense that maybe there's some sort of agreement in place with Caicedo that if the right amount of money comes in for you, we will let you go as a reward for staying on, after January when, he could have went to Arsenal. Of course, his agent has been talking it up recently as well, talking about moves and, you know, the fact that he might go to a Champions League club, etc. And I think Caicedo, if he does become available in the summer, is going to be very, very sought after. But Arsenal are interested. And as I said, don't forget now, Arsenal are a serious proposition for any of these clubs. You know what I mean? Because we're in the Champions League and we've just, you know, been a team that's been challenging to win the Premier League. So could Arsenal get both Moises Caicedo and Declan Rice? What do you guys think the likelihood of that is of happening? And we were told that Arsenal had a budget of around about £200 million for this summer, which is a lot of money. But would they blow it on 2 players? Or is the way around it to also sell players? Now, there's a lot of players that Arsenal have got on their books that I feel could be up for sale. I mean, there's even been rumours that Arsenal may sell Granit Xhaka this summer. There's a lot of clubs interested in him. Clubs over in Germany would be interested in taking him. Personally, I'd like to see us keep Xhaka because I think he'll be important, you know, in the Champions League, and he's had a great season. But could he move on? He's got about a year left on his contract. Could move him on and he could raise money. I made out a little list as well here of some of the other players that could possibly move on this summer. There's Nicolas Pepe, of course, who I feel will definitely move on this summer. He's got a year left on his contract after, you know, this year. Hasn't hit it at Arsenal. Has been out on loan at Nice. Arsenal will probably get about 25 to 30 million pounds for Nicolas Pepe. Will Kieran Tierney still be here? That's been a big debate. And if he goes, you're talking 30, 35 million easy that you'd be able to raise off of that. Emile Smith-Rowe. I don't want to sell Emile Smith-Rowe, but he's hardly played this season. We've known in the past teams like Villa and that offered 35 million pounds for him. Could Arsenal let Emile Smith-Rowe go to free up funds to try and get in somebody like a Caicedo? Following Balogun, who's scored 19 goals to date over there in France. He's been hot. There's lots of clubs looking at him. Could be a player. I remember as a strikers, they go for premium amounts. Could raise easily 45 to 50 million pounds following Balogun. Or will Arsenal bring him back? That's going to be an interesting one. Rob Holding, I probably expect to move on this summer. 10 to 15 million pounds. Albert Sambi Lokonga, still a young player, Belgium international, hasn't hit the heights at Arsenal, hasn't even really hit the heights at Crystal Palace on loan. But we bought him for around about 20 million. Could Arsenal sell him, move him on to make space for a Caicedo? Obviously, there'll be a lot more money. And then there's Nuno Tavares. Remember him? Well, he's had a very good loan move out there in Marseille. I think he scored about 6 goals this season. Has been really, really effective for them. Could Arsenal cash in on him as well and use those monies towards the sale, towards the, you know, acquiring Rice and Caicedo? Would love to hear from you guys on this one. How likely do you think this is to happen? And as I said, the Times are saying that's what Arteta wants and they feel they'll have the budget to do it. Would you be excited if we got both? I mean, geez, if we got both, that just changes the dynamic of our midfield. And remember, before you say, well, what about happens to Partey and what happens to Xhaka and all these players, and we may move some of these on. But for me, we need to be keeping these players as well because squad depth, that's what's done us this race, I feel. Squad depth. When you look at what City are able to do, you know, against the game at Everton at the weekend where they can bring in Gundogan and Mahrez and Laporte and that, we've got to get our squad depth better if we're going to challenge. And remember, we're going to be in the Champions League. And the early stages of the Champions League is not like the early stages of the Europa League where you can put all kids out to play. You've got to go strong from the beginning. So Arsenal have got to get this squad depth right. And if they got Rice and Caicedo, whoop, I'd love that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Is it likely? Could it happen? I'd love to see it happen. And thanks for watching and check out all of our content. Subscribe here on AFTV. I'm going to keep you across all transfers right throughout the summer. We've got some exciting transfer shows coming up as well as Transfer Daily. So make sure you check it out. But thanks for watching and up the Arsenal. Just to remind you about that big event live with an audience. And if you want to be in the audience, click the link in the description and get involved. Tickets selling fast for that event on the 23rd of May at the Islington Assembly Hall right here in North London. We're going to have loads of guests on the day as well, talking about the Arsenal. You do not want to miss it, right? This podcast, it's a very special one. Over the next couple of weeks, we're giving away a couple of tickets to it as well. But if you want to join us, get your tickets. They are selling fast. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.